Welcome to today's Psych with Sigmund, where we delve into the fascinating world of psychology to explore the intricacies of human thought, emotion, and behavior. I'm your host, Sigmund, and today we're going to talk about a psychological phenomenon that affects us all: social desirability bias. Social desirability bias refers to the tendency for people to present themselves in a way that is socially acceptable, even if it means distorting or misrepresenting their true thoughts, feelings, or behaviors. This bias can manifest in various ways, such as overreporting positive qualities or underreporting negative ones, and it can have significant implications for our personal relationships, mental health, and overall well-being. To understand social desirability bias, let's take a step back and look at its theoretical background. One of the key psychological theories that explains this concept is the self-presentation theory, which suggests that people have a fundamental desire to present themselves in a positive light to others. This theory was first proposed by psychologists such as Erving Goffman, who argued that individuals actively manage their self-presentation to create a desired impression on others. Another important theoretical framework for understanding social desirability bias is the concept of cognitive dissonance, which refers to the discomfort or tension people experience when their attitudes or behaviors are inconsistent with their self. According to psychologist Leon Festinger, people tend to reduce cognitive dissonance by changing their attitudes or behaviors to align with their self-image, rather than admitting that they were wrong or flawed. Our understanding of social desirability bias has evolved significantly over time, thanks to the contributions of many researchers and psychologists. For example, studies have shown that social desirability bias can be influenced by cultural norms, social context, and individual personality traits such as narcissism or neuroticism. Additionally, research has identified various methods for reducing social desirability bias, such as using anonymous surveys, behavioral observations, or implicit measures of attitude. One classic study that illustrates social desirability bias is the bogus pipeline experiment conducted by psychologists in the 1970s. In this study, participants were asked to report their attitudes towards a particular issue, and some were hooked up to a fake lie detector machine while others were not. The results showed that participants who were connected to the bogus pipeline reported more honest attitudes than those who were not, suggesting that the threat of being detected influenced their responses. More recent research has also shed light on the neural mechanisms underlying social desirability bias. For example, studies using functional magnetic resonance imaging have found that brain regions involved in self-referential processing, such as the medial prefrontal cortex, are active when people engage in socially desirable responding. So, how can understanding social desirability bias help you in your everyday life? Recognizing this bias can make you more aware of the potential discrepancies between what people say and what they actually do. In personal relationships, being mindful of social desirability bias can help you communicate more effectively and avoid misunderstanding. For instance, if a friend tells you that they love a particular hobby, but you notice that they never seem to engage in it, you might realize that they're just trying to present themselves in a certain way. In professional settings, acknowledging social desirability bias can lead to more accurate assessments of employee attitudes or customer preferences. For example, if you're conducting a survey to gauge employee satisfaction, you might use techniques like anonymous responding or behavioral observations to minimize the impact of social desirability bias. Therapists often use techniques like cognitive behavioral therapy to help clients become more aware of their thoughts and feelings, reducing the influence of social desirability bias on their self-perception. By acknowledging and working through these biases, individuals can develop a more authentic sense of self and improve their mental health. In conclusion, social desirability bias is a pervasive psychological phenomenon that affects us all to some extent. By understanding its underlying mechanisms and influences, we can become more discerning observers of human behavior and more compassionate towards ourselves and others. Remember, recognizing the role of social desirability bias in shaping our thoughts and actions is the first step towards developing greater self-awareness and fostering more genuine relationships. As you reflect on your own life, consider how social desirability bias might be influencing your interactions with others. Are there times when you find yourself presenting a false front or hiding your true feelings? By acknowledging these biases and striving for authenticity, you can cultivate deeper connections with others and live a more authentic, meaningful life. That's all for today's Psych with Sigmund. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, may your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.